And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another movie review. Today, I'm reviewing Ray. Released in 2004, it is a musical biopic of the legendary Ray Charles, an iconic singer from really the 40s on till today. So it's pretty good. It's kind of eerie that this movie came out about 3 months after he died, which is really, really eerie, honestly. Because a lot of the biopics nowadays are made after like the star is dead or like they're retired or whatnot, but not this one. No, this one they made it with him still being alive, and then he died. So they do a little cool little tribute to him at the end of the movie, though, which is good. But I really didn't know much about Ray Charles, so I definitely did learn a lot from this movie, and I did some further research on him after the movie because I was pretty interested. So I got a lot of thoughts on kind of the accuracy that I was able to decipher, and then kind of my thoughts overall. So let's just jump right into it, shall we? First off, the movie does a really good job at a lot of good depictions of couple of different things. One, like the time period and kind of like, how really doing a good job at really showing how bad it was back then for people of color and how far we have come, and kind of like that civil rights movement and everything like that. They did a really good job depicting that because that happened. You can't ignore it, and they did a good job at getting with it, and I think that's really, really good. So that was good. They also did a really good job depicting drug addiction. That's the thing that I guess I never knew about Ray Charles, and I guess I don't know how many fans of Ray Charles would know that before watching the movie, even if you do have listened to him for a long time. He was a big heroin addict, and there's all that in the movie too. And they do a good job at like not really blatantly shoving it in your face, but giving subtle hints, and then like you're supposed to connect the dots with like the progression of his attitude and everything, how it slowly starts to affect everybody else in his life and whatnot. They do a great job at that and brings really big awareness to it as well, in my opinion. At least they do a good job at conveying that message, like this is what can happen. You need help, reach out, and whatnot, stuff like that. So they did a really good job there. And I have to give credit. I have to give credit to the acting here. I have to give credit to the acting. They did a really good. So like Jamie Foxx is Ray Charles, right? And there was some points where like if I didn't know that it was Jamie Foxx, I wouldn't have thought it was Jamie Foxx. That's how good it was. The only part that I like knew, oh, this is Jamie Foxx, was later on in the movie when he's like starting to trying to get sober and get off of heroin, and he's like having these he's withdrawal like visions and whatnot, and like his eyes open for the first open up, because most of the movie his eyes are closed because he's blind, but like his eyes, I'm like, oh, that's Jamie Foxx, right? But not really any other part of it, which I was kind of surprised how well he did. Also, the mom, Ray Charles' mom, from the flashbacks and whatnot, she did a really good job in this movie as well. Great job. All the female actors did a really good job here. I think they did a very strong emotions. Very, very, very powerful acting. Did a great job, I thought. There were some also like going off of that kind of like powerful emotions. There were some hard scenes to watch, especially with the brother's death. That was a really, really hard scene to watch because they didn't really like explicitly, like, I think you have to know going into the movie that like this happened to him because they don't really hint at it before it happens. They do it a little bit, but that was a hard scene to watch. It was. it also, this movie, like, helped me really appreciate Ray Charles more. Like, I knew his name, I knew he was a singer, but I didn't know. I actually recognized a couple of his songs, which I was surprised. They did a lot of songs throughout the movie, which was good. I think they did a very good job with, like, highly detailed kind of progression throughout his career, highlighting songs. No song really got like a special on stage spotlight scene like with what the Elvis biopic did, that I did a review of that a while ago, a few years ago. That one, there's like specific songs that Austin Butler performs on stage as Elvis. There really isn't a lot of that in here. Is some, but there's not a whole lot. It's kind of just like worked in with montages and whatnot, and helps through the progression, which I think is really, really good. And I learned a lot about him. Like the heroin addiction, his family things, and we get to see how he went blind. I didn't know about that. I didn't know how he went blind, and so like they do a really good job at that. They got the years wrong. In the movie, he goes blind at 9, and the brother also dies at 9, or dies when Ray is 9, right? And then a few months later, he goes blind. But it was actually 7 when that all happened, when I looked it up. So, but I mean, it's still depicted well, in my opinion. And I think this movie is a great biopic. It's not my favorite biopic, but it is a great It's the best biopic. Not my favorite, but the best. My favorite is the Elvis one because I think it's just a great movie. It's a giant concert, it's a giant show, kind of just this great spectacle, right? But that movie has some flaws. It definitely does glaze Elvis. It glorifies him, all that sort of stuff. This movie, on the other hand, does a great job at being a biopic. They do talk about the highs of his career. They talk about, the music and the fame and all that stuff. They also highlight some of the bad stuff about him. He was he abused his wife. He was hugely misogynistic, and also with like the drugs and whatnot, and just being overall, like, partially yes, because that's part of the drug addiction depiction portion of the movie, but also he was just a giant dick to people sometimes, and they are not shy on pointing that out throughout this movie. So, and that's, I think, a good part of a biopic is showing the good side of the person and the bad side of the person to get the full picture. That's exactly what they did here, and I really, really like that. So that's why I think this is a great biopic and also a really good movie. It is a long movie at 2 hours and 32-minute long runtime. That is a long movie, but I think they pack a lot of good stuff in. The pacing still felt really good, and I think that's partially because it's a career arc thing. You can't just say that it was supposed to end at one point, because that his career still went on. So maybe that's why the pacing is a little bit better. But honestly, I never got too bored during the movie. It was really, really good, despite it being a 2.5 hour long film. So overall, that's got my thoughts on the movie. My final score for Ray, I'm going to have to give it I'll give it an 8. I really liked it, and I think if you are a big music fan, or even a big Ray Charles fan, or just a big fan of biopics in general, this is definitely a movie that you should check out and go watch. So, but anyways, that's going to do it for this review. If you've ever seen this movie, I'd love to know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. And that's going to do it for this video as well. So stay tuned for much more amazing content, including more movie reviews and other awesome stuff. And until next time, see you guys later. Goodbye.